Now, many of us have drawers at home stuffed full of plastic bags ready to take shopping, but it seems we're not actually using them or reusing them as much as maybe we plan to.
The number of single-use carrier bags handed out by supermarkets has risen for the second year running. Wales, though, which introduced a 5p charge per bag last October, saw a drop in their usage.
So is that charging the solution?
I have to say I thought it was great. It was the right thing to do. If I had a criticism, it was maybe that Scotland was maybe a wee bit behind others. There was other parts of the UK had implemented the charge first. In Scotland, in Scottish parliamentary terms for environmental regulation, we've actually quite often been at the forefront of environmental regulation, not just in the UK but indeed in Europe. When you look at Scotland, Scotland's a beautiful country. You know, we must be the envy of the world when you look at, you know, the pristine environment that we do have in Scotland. And I like to see Glasgow play its part in that. And I think the response from the public has been very positive. I think, if I was to be honest, we've had very few complaints about it. And I think most people wouldn't argue with the fact that the legislation was introduced and the benefits that will bring in the longer term.
I think the 5p bag charge is brilliant. Like, it stops so much waste. The companies can actually put it to good use.
I think the 5p bag charge is great. I think it's another 5 pence in the businesses' pockets, and they can do what they want with it. A lot of them are donating to charity, which I think is a great thing.
It's a great idea, wonderful idea. They've been doing it in Ireland for about 15 years and it worked. I think it's a great idea.
I am completely for the 5p bag charge. It was introduced into Ireland about 10 years ago, except it was 25p. And it still is 25p. And the reduction in the plastic bag usage in Ireland was phenomenal. In Ireland, the money that was collected for the plastic bag charge was ring-fenced for environmental research. So I think that's a great idea, because even through periods of austerity, there's still a bank of money there that the Environmental Protection Agency can use to fund research. And I think that would be a great idea for Scotland to do the same.
The smoking ban, that was maybe about 7 or 8 years ago now, maybe more. You know, people immediately complied with the smoking ban. They saw the benefits and they just did it. And the 5p bag charge is a bit like that, whereby people see the benefits and therefore they immediately start complying.
I wish it did more to help the environment, but it is it's too easy to just sort of not really care when I know that there's such a need to do so.
I don't know how much recycling goes on actually in the city itself. I know there's some. I just think people don't care sometimes.
We recycle as much as we can. I think it's a lot better than it used to be, because everything used to just go into general rubbish. But Falkirk Council do seem to have it reasonably well organised at the minute, which I think a lot of councils do. But yeah, we recycle as much as we can.
I do try and make people aware, but it's a fine line, because it's very easy to bore people and for it to be people just to lose the message because they're just hearing it so often. So I don't ram it down people's throat, but I certainly do my own bit. I think one of the things is to try and generate interest, because the information's there. Anybody who's interested can go online and get whatever information they want. And this is one of the things that we're finding in lectures, is that in a lecture you're obviously passing knowledge to the student, but you're also trying to get them enthused about the subject, because they can go online and do their own research very, very simply. So I think that's one of the things that we need to concentrate on for environmental education, is trying to get people interested. How to do that is another question.
The other thing that's happening at the moment, which probably people aren't, the man and woman in the street probably wouldn't be too much aware of, is the use of technology. We have recently been creating a number of apps which allow people to make choices about how they travel, for example. Also apps in relation to things like energy efficiency, so you can start to think about how you can do more to try and reduce your energy costs.
We don't realise it, but it's not just big industry that's creating problems with the environment. It's all the little things that we do on a day-to-day basis.
We received a lot of money from the UK government to try and develop a lot of smart technology in relation to areas like energy and transport, and also in relation to data. Data is, the amount of data that we hold is immense. The amount of data that we make available to the general public and to businesses so they can start making decisions about how they manage the environment. Over the last couple of years, we've released an awful lot, and there's an open data website now for Glasgow, so you can start to to view that, and you can start to think about what more you can do for the environment.
It's very simple to do. It's all the small things. As individuals, we kind of tend to think there's nothing I can do, how could I make a difference? But if you look at a city like Glasgow, you know, there are 3 million individuals, so if each individual makes a conscious effort, then that makes a huge impact.
What we're looking for is for the citizens of Glasgow to start thinking of Glasgow as a green city. It's all very well me as head of sustainability and environment banging on about it and saying, oh yeah, we're doing this about energy, we're doing this about waste, we're doing this about transport. But we need you as the individual to do your bit as well.
Be interested, I think, is the main thing. Just because something goes out of your sight doesn't mean it disappears. Just because it goes down the drain doesn't mean it disappears. It ends up somewhere, and ultimately it ends up in the environment, generally in the aquatic environment.
So the more we can get across the green agenda to you, the better, to be perfectly honest. And the more we can get you to understand that, okay, you're only one person, but you can make a big difference if everybody pulls their weight, the more we can do that, the better.